the crazy way he talks, where he forgets what he's talking about. He's not held accountable. Like, if you're gaslighting me about something that is so in my face, how can I trust you?
He's 100% right. His administration, his aides, his campaign, they want us to believe the closed-door Joe is on top of things. He's not the one that we're seeing. But his approval rating tells the real story. I looked at the real clear average before coming out here. It's at 40% and dropping. That's a historic low. Nearly half of voters think that it's likely that Biden will be replaced as the nominee. Keep in mind, we're in February. I mean, take Michigan, for example. This came out this week on Fox News. He's down 25% with black voters from 2020. So what is Joe Biden's campaign going to do? They want to put him out there, especially when it comes to the black vote. So they thought they would have Joe go visit a family, a black family, and bring fried chicken. Genius.
Oh, man, you got chicken fingers. You got the whole deal. I want the root of making sure I had the hamburger. So tell me about you guys. What you doing these days?
I'm playing AAU basketball right now.
Are you really? Are you guard?
Yes, sir.
There you go. I can hear the votes coming in now. That went over black voters, right? So is there a plan to win back the youth vote? Of course, TikTok. You know that app that China uses to shape the news and steal our personal information? The same app that he banned on federal devices?
Game or commercials?
Game.
Game or halftime show?
Game.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama Kelsey. I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
Cringe, right? I guess the kids would say. But you got to say something. I think the new Daily Show host had it right.
Fire everyone. Everyone. How do you go on TikTok and end up looking older?
Well, who's in charge? Joining us now are a few gentlemen that I think have a few opinions on what's going on in the country, what's going on in the White House, and who's going to win that big place next. The co-hosts of the Ruthless Podcast are back with us. Josh Holmes, Comfortably Smug, Michael Duncan, and John Ashbrook. Great to see you guys. You look wonderful in that black background. Josh, what do you think of the president's week after that horrendous week?
I mean, look, as you said in your monologue, the good news about losing your mind is apparently you're no longer criminally liable for anything and you're still available for a Democratic nomination for president of the United States. Bad news is I do think you're right. You probably wouldn't get a contract for renewal at Fox News. Listen, this whole thing is crazy, and we've talked about this a lot on the program this week because the pushback that the Biden administration is having on this Earhardt report, it's really not a great set of circumstances for them. I mean, ultimately, if they're right, let's just say they're right. And by the way, the only way you can prove they're right is if they release the transcripts, which they could do at any time.
I think they are.
But I've not yet seen them. Yeah, well, maybe they will, and I hope they do, because one of two things is going to happen here. One is the president's right; it was mischaracterized, in which case he's then criminally liable for the charges. I mean, the principal reason why the documents that he had in his garage and elsewhere in his possession were not going to be prosecuted here is because the prosecutor thought he didn't have his mind right. You know, so like, right. Okay, you're successful at pushing back on that. Now you got a legal problem. Second is if he is right, then he's just incompetent and not available to be president. So like this whole discussion just doesn't work for the White House, right, fellas?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough when you have a press conference to assure the American people that your memory is still strong, and then you mischaracterize things and have a bad memory in literally that press conference. So, yeah, I mean, look, right. We've said here on the show, I don't think you even had to hear the audio to see that the man is in mental decline, the way he sort of stumbles through things, his head's down, the body language is terrible. I mean, the American people know this. Right. Well, the clip you played from Joe Rogan clearly demonstrates it.
Smug, well, the American people know it. The mainstream media knows it.
Go ahead,
I mean, if you don't have to look any further than the front pages of the papers this morning, on Friday morning, that had Kamala Harris answering about the news in Russia, not Joe Biden. So the mainstream media is already switching from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris. They know he's done.
And that's not going to help, Smug, is it? And I'll tell you a couple of things. If you look at what that report actually says, it's really extensive. And I think it's pretty fair. And when you get blowback from your own attorney general, You do. You're in the middle of the other definition of a circular fire squad. So if you look at the fact that he's had classified documents since 1977, when he was meeting guys like Tito, when Yugoslavia was Yugoslavia, smug.